I'm Denise, mother, wife, and serial entrepreneur with my hands in a bunch of different pots. If it's one thing I learned about business, it's that you don't win without war. There's always going to be struggle, and only the innovative survive. And two, you don't know what you don't know. So leveling up takes a wealth of knowledge. I'm going to show you how to manifest your dreams in multiple areas of your life by speaking to those who already have the blueprint and they're willing to drop those jewels. So join me as we go on this journey to manifesting our higher self and living the life we want. Hi, Elisa. Hi, Keith.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm happy to be sitting down with you guys today because you guys have a really cool business that's really needed during this time where we in a pandemic and it's a lot going on. And, you know, it's a lot of peer-to-peer interactions nowadays with Uber, with DoorDash, with, all types of different avenues, ways of people looking to get money, to make money for themselves and be their own entrepreneur. So you guys have a car rental business, right? Yes. How many vehicles do you have?
We have 5 cars. Mm-hmm. One's our personal car. We just sold one, so we had 6 at first.
Okay.
And now we have 5.
So you operate these vehicles both privately and through another platform?
Yes. So the main platform that we use is called Turo. Mm-hmm. So Turo is like peer-to-peer ride share. Mm-hmm. It's like Airbnb.
Yeah, but for cars. Right. Yeah. Gotcha.
So you just have to, have a decent car listed on the platform, and people can request to book it.
Okay.
So, but we also do it outside of Turo, and that's new for us. So we get more requests than we actually take because it's so new. Yeah. And you want to make sure, because you don't have that protection as you would have through Turo. Right. Everything is insured. Reimbursements, tolls, things like that. We don't have to worry about having to go after the client, for that, because Turo will make sure that we're taken care of. Right. So gotcha. But yes, we do also do private bookings as well.
Okay. So you've been doing Turo mainly, and then you just started doing the private bookings just recently, right?
Yes. Okay. Because we pretty much feel like Turo's like training wheels, if you want to really get into this industry. But also it was, the progression of me seeing how fruitful this business was, starting to become. Right. And so I was like, okay, well, we started with 1 car, and then after a couple of months, I'm like, yeah, I think we need to start to scale. So then we went and got a few more. So the first car that you had was what? What was the make and model of the first car? So the first car we had was the 2020 Jeep Wrangler, but we started out with the Honda Accord, really. So, so what happened is we bought the Jeep Wrangler with intentions to rent it out. After a few rentals, she loved the car so much. She didn't want to rent it anymore. Didn't want to share it. Exactly, she didn't want to share it. Yeah. And so I was like, well, do I want to make money or do I want to be happy at home? Yeah. I'd rather be happy home. Good man. Smart man. Right. So smart man. I said, let's see if we could figure it out. And so we started to rent out our what was our personal car at the time, which is a 2019 Honda Accord. So that car, the goal for it was to pretty much just make enough to pay for the Wrangler. And so far has been able to do that. We haven't had an issue. We haven't paid a car note since we started the business. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So you started with the Wrangler, then you got the Honda, and now the Honda the Wrangler is now your car. Yes. And the Honda is what you use for the rental, but the Honda pays for itself, and it pays for the Wrangler, which is dope. So you guys, tell me about like how you got all of the vehicles. As you said, you have 4 now, you had 6 at one point. How are you able to acquire? Because what I'm thinking in my mind, just being a regular person, right, it's hard as heck to get a car, 1 car. Now you're talking about 2, 3, 4, 5. What is that process like? So pretty much, because there's no requirement for Turo in terms of you don't have to have an LLC. Like we have LLCs. Yeah, just for your own protection. Yes. Yeah. But the cars are personally registered. Yes. To us, and the way we were able to get so many is, well, the first one, which was our personal car, it was very interesting. Like she had the credit, but they didn't have the history in terms of auto loans.
Gotcha.
And I didn't have the credit, but I had the history of the auto loans.
Yeah, right.
And so they were able to put two and two together, and then we were able to get that car.
Right.
Now fast forward to us getting the Wrangler, we were able to just get that in her name, right out. And then we also have another car that's also in her name, and then our Range Rover is in her name, and then we have the another Honda Accord that's in my name.
Okay.
So we pretty much had to split it up. We couldn't all just
get them all just be under one.
Because it would have been very difficult. Now there are ways to do that, right? Because it takes about 30 days for it to hit on your credit report, right? So you can go purchase a car today,
and we don't know.
It's not going to show on your credit,
right?
So that means you can go purchase another one tomorrow. There's people that do that, and they go out and they get 5, 10, 15, 20 cars within the space of 30 days.
Yeah.
But it's based upon what your goals are.
Yeah.
And what you can manage.
Yeah.
So the main thing is getting not going into the dealership to get the loan. You should go to like your credit union or your bank, get pre-approved first, and then you go to the bank with that. You go to the car dealership with that that pre-approval. And then you pick out the car that you want.
So essentially, you have to get a pre-approval from more than one place. Like if you were going to get more than one vehicle,
absolutely,
you'd have to get a pre-approval from more than one place, have them ready to go, because one place doesn't know what the other place, this.
Yeah.
And
because
then,
the banks don't communicate like that.
Right. Okay, I got that. So, but even. Okay, but did you guys get all your vehicles quickly like that, or did you? No, you spaced them out.
That's just now because being experienced and knowing how it works. That's what you want to do. But I recommend starting with one vehicle first, because you want to see how it's going to work. So that's how we started, because we wanted to make sure that this is something that was. I mean, it's scary, right?
Yeah.
Like you're giving your car to somebody that you don't know, and you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And so when we first start to give the car out, it's like. Every hour you're looking at the clock, like
they back yet?
Yeah, If you're under 25, there's a certain amount of cars that you can, a certain type of car that you can rent.
Okay.
And then if you're under 30, there's a certain type of car that you can rent as well. So you can't rent like the big luxury cars.
Yeah.
Because you're underage and higher risk.
Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go by credit. If anything happens, like if someone is driving your vehicle and gets into an accident or something happened, Turo actually covers the claim on that. It's like another insurance?
So Turo, they actually have a partnership with Liberty Mutual, right? Well-known insurance company. Yeah. So what happens is if you do it the correct way, yes, you will always be covered. So in order to be covered, you want to make sure you have detailed pictures of your vehicle, close-ups, and wide shots as well, inside, outside, the tires, the rims.
Yeah.
Get each panel of the vehicle. You should have like 80 pictures. And it doesn't take that long to do it. You just, just snapping as you move and make sure nothing is blurry. But you could get that in maybe like 5 minutes.
After every rental?
Before and after. You want to get those pictures, because the before is you just showing, okay, this is the condition of the car, and after is you showing the condition of the car after it's returned. So if those two don't match up, then something must have happened in between.
Right, I got you. Yeah. So now, what is the insurance like? Because I have I have an event space, and we offer valet because the parking lot is not huge, and our insurance for valet is out of the roof, because they know it's a valet. They know that the drivers are driving the car back and forth and stuff like. It's a huge liability. Every person that's on my valet team has to be on the insurance in order for anything to happen to be covered. It's a whole headache. So I can only imagine what insurance is like for rentals, because somebody can have it for a whole day, a whole week, or whatever the case may be. What is the insurance process like for you to have this business?
So because we're working with Turo, when we're working with Turo, they provide the insurance. So there's no insurance that we don't have to come to the table with our own insurance for that, right? So for the business side of Turo, they have the insurance. The customer pays for that insurance.
Okay.
There's different tiers of what they want to, what type of protection they want. Now, outside of Toro, we do have a partner that we can purchase insurance from on a day-to-day basis, based upon how long that rental is going to be.
Gotcha.
And this is pretty much the same companies that Budget and Hertz and a lot of these larger car rental companies use, where you have access to them as well.
Okay, that's cool. So it's not that much of a headache. You guys
because the way it works is you can eat the cost, but we also it's best to just roll it over to the customer, because that's pretty much the standard in the industry. They pay for their insurance.
Okay. Yeah. All right, that's cool. So tell me about the different vehicles that you have and why you picked them. I know you said you have a Honda, you have a Jeep Wrangler. What else do you have?
So what else? We have 2 Hondas, and then we have the Wrangler and the
2020 Range Rover.
The Range Rover and the what's the other car?
2015 Acura MDX.
The Acura MDX. So all right, you want to tell them?
Yeah, so the Range Rover, that was something that we were looking at from the beginning, actually. So in the summer, when we started thinking about let's get another car, let's think about what we're going to use to actually rent it out. When we started talking about getting cars, it was initially, let's make sure, or let's find a way to turn it into an asset. So it's not just sitting outside. We're not really going anywhere. So that was the main motivation of actually looking for another car, because we already had the 2019 Honda Accord. So when we were first looking at cars, it was between the Jeep Wrangler and the Range Rover Velar. And so we started pursuing the Range Rover Velar. They were like, no. And we were like, okay, fine.
Definitely declined.
They said no.
Let's try something else.
And so we went to do the Jeep Wrangler, because it's a fun car. It's something that, wasn't really on Toro like that. We wanted to definitely have something that was a little bit of, a competition, so to speak, or have folks have access to it. And so when we were starting to look at some of the Jeeps, it was like, okay, this is nice. But then we saw that one, and it had the, the one-touch roof, which is different from a lot of the Wranglers that people are used to, especially with the roof removal. And the seats and the system and everything. We were just like, yeah, this is dope. So we got that one, as you heard already with the story. I was trying to live my best clueless life, my 90s, Jeep life. And it's become our personal car because we love it and it's fun. So then we started looking at what we could do to build up the fleet. And so the next one was the Range Rover. And so we wanted to provide a more luxury experience, which is going to go into... Right. And so we wanted to not only just have these assets, but also turn it into something that we can build an experience around. The 3 foundations of our business, Liaison, are exposure, experiences, and education. And so we wanted to build something and just have it all flow seamlessly. So that's where we brought in the Range Rover. And, we knew that it would be a bigger risk, but also it would be something that would return, on our investment. And then what we also had going on at that time was someone that hit Keith up on Facebook Marketplace, right? Who was trying to rent the first Honda that we had long term. But that Honda, we call it Bumblebee. And that's a Transformers reference. Because,
why is it yellow?
No, it's not yellow, but because we just send it out, we don't see it, and we kind of treat it kind of bad.
I don't know if you watch Transformers.
I did,
so
and
at
the end, Bumblebee is like...
all messed up.
Always wants to be around them, but they just kind of like go
to the side. So we nicknamed it Bumblebee. So the person wanted to rent that long term, but we were like, nah, Bumblebee is out. It's doing its thing. So Keith was like, okay, I got to get another car. And, he was just like grinded it out, trying to find something else. And finally was able to find another Honda Accord. And I was like, okay, that's out, long term. And so I guess you could talk about the
experience.
That experience and the Acura.
So what happened is the person, they I posted an ad pretty much on Facebook.
Yeah.
In a Facebook group. And it was just one of these groups about, I think, Uber drivers. I said, I got this car for rent. Person reached back and said, hey, yeah, I want to rent it. And they offered me, the original car was a smart car, but they end up not wanting that car. So they offered us, they made an offer for the Honda Accord. And I was like, yeah, we could do that. But in my mind, I was like, I didn't want to give him the Honda Accord that we already had because it was already established. It already has a bunch of reviews. People are used to it.
So it's
on
easy
the
to
platform.
get. Yeah, I get that.
It's easier
to rent that.
to keep that on the on Turo versus start over brand new with another car. So I said, okay, well, I'll get another Honda Accord just for you. And that's what we did. That's
wow.
how we got
So
it.
you just for and this guy still has the car?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little over 2 months now.
What's going on, fitness fam? It's 2021, and this is the year that you bring back your sexy. If you need to lose some unwanted weight, if you want to get in shape, build muscle, I'm the man for you, Sean Beta Trainer. Go to SeanBetaTrainer.com and hit me up. 973-851-2513 is the number. Don't delay. Go to the website. Go to Instagram or Facebook at SeanBetaTrainer.com. You'll get some of that apparel. We have power greens for you for your wellness, as well as nutritional coaching and everything that you need. It's 2021. Let's make this year a great one. Sean Beta Trainer.
I didn't even tell you about the Acura.
Yeah, so the Acura, what happened is we just got that maybe like a month ago. So actually a relative, my uncle, we were talking one day and I was telling him about the business. He got all excited. He was like, I got a car that I could give to you. And because it was, it's so risky, car rental business. Renting out your car and understanding that you have a liability in terms of like the insurance, right? So I was like, I'm not really sure at first, but I was like, let's see what happens. And so maybe like a week later, somebody was reaching out to me about a car. They said they want an SUV, and I was like, well, my uncle has an SUV. So pretty much I reached out to him. We made we came up with an agreement, and he brought the car over, and it went out the same day within a couple of hours.
Wow.
And it hasn't been rented yet. Since, It hasn't been rented since because we just wanted to, we found out there's a recall on the car. So we couldn't place it on Turo yet because of the recall. So, but it's not like a recall that would damage like you're not gonna have to worry about the car breaking down on you. It's just, a restriction that they have. If it has a recall, you have to get it tested, taken care of. So we took it in and got it taken care of, and now we have to wait for it to actually update in the system. So once that happens, we'll be able to list it. But that's how we got it. Basically, long story short, someone saw that we were making money with, the business would be being successful, and they wanted to be a part of it.
They had to act so that in that way he doesn't have to do anything. Exactly. He doesn't have to learn it. He can just give it to you, and you guys share the profits as far as. So that's like amazing. I love what you guys are doing.
The way I do it is I pretty much look at, okay, how much is this car gonna cost me per day, right? So I look at if I have a car note, if there's car insurance, and then I factor in like a buffer for maintenance. So once I know that, then I know how much I'm able to charge, right? So I know what's my minimum. Like if let's say it's $40, right? I'm all in $40 is what this car's cost me per day, and I know that if I rent it for $45, I'm only gonna make $5, right? But I can know that, okay, if it goes out, let's say on a week's trip, right? And is rented for maybe $40 for like 3 days, but the next couple of days it's like 50 or 60, and I kind of know what my profit is. So basically what I'm saying is I know how much this car is costing me, and I factor in everything, so that way Now, when I add on top, that's all profit.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
Gotcha.
factor all that
So
in
you
into
already,
our price. Yes.
Yeah, but then how do you do that? Because you don't know, like when you don't know what something's going to cost until it goes wrong. Especially like the Range Rover, because it's like all the interior is all like digital, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you unless you have done the research to find out how much is it to replace certain things in the car, how would you know what?
Yeah. So that's the risk.
Would be?
That's the risk that we're taking. Not necessarily knowing what issues may arise with the vehicles. Crazy story.
We just had that.
Yeah, we just had an issue with the Range Rover.
What does cost to rent the vehicles a day? Would you say each vehicle?
Okay, so the Honda would kind of fall into like a the economy car class. So those cars can range anywhere between like 40 to 70, maybe even a little bit more than that per day. So we have two of those, about 40, 70 a day. Now the Acura is probably gonna go for maybe like 75 to 100, maybe $110 per day. The Range Rover, if you're renting that, you're looking at on the low end 150. It can go as high as 250, but typically 175 is pretty much what you're gonna get per day renting out those vehicles.
What about the Wrangler?
The Wrangler. So when we were renting it, I think we were charging about 150, 160 per day. And there's also a feature where you can charge people for unlimited mileage, right? So we put, I know one of our trips, we put an extra $100 for unlimited mileage, and someone booked it for 3 days, and they paid for unlimited miles for every single day. So
they probably were going out of state.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, what do you guys do? Is there a reason why you guys went for 2020 vehicles? I'm assuming because the insurance was cheaper.
So that's a phenomenal question. So at first we went for those vehicles because we wanted to be competitive, right? Because we know we're not going to be the only cars on Toro, right? So we wanted to be competitive, and we're like, okay, well, this person has a 2020.
Yeah.
Like if we put the 2019, who's gonna get rented?
If that
first?
car is rented, then they'll come to you. But if not,
exactly. So that's how we thought at first. But now I realize that if you build the clientele, it really doesn't matter. Yeah. Right. And it's actually best to just kind of find a way to get a car that it has already been taken its hit by depreciation. So the first 5 or 6 years, after the first 5 years, actually, cars can lose up to 60% of their value. So that's actually the best time to buy the car, because now you're not battling with depreciation as much. Yeah. So right now, being in 2021, it's probably best to start with maybe a 2016, 2015, something like that. That's probably the best. That's probably where you should start. Yeah, because
I would imagine at that point you're getting better bang for your buck.
Absolutely.
So you're still getting a decent car, but you're not paying that decent car money because it's fresh off the lot or something like that.
Right.
Exactly.
And you guys, I guess you just focus, like if you do that, you would focus on cars that maybe have been leases, so it's low mileage, or may have been loaners at the dealer. Like, do you go to dealerships or used car dealerships? Well, I know the 2020s, you have to go to the dealership.
The next level where we're going with the business is going to be purchasing cars from like Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, trying to find private sellers for cars, because that's where you really get cars for a really good price. And then rent them out to long-term people. Right. So that's kind of where I see where our goals are, and that's what kind of aligns with what we want to accomplish, because the real money is in the economy cars. And if you really think about it, most big car rental companies, they have a bunch of basic
regular cars,
right? That's where the money is at. The luxury cars are flashy. You get them rented out, weekends, maybe some days throughout the week. Yeah. But you could get an economy car. I just had someone earlier today that asked, and they brought back one of our cars today. They said, well, how can I, how much would this cost to rent for a month? We don't get that question for the Range Rover.
Yeah, right. Nobody, If you could rent a Range Rover for a month, you can probably just buy it, right? You can probably just get it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense. So speaking of where you're going and where you see yourself, where are you guys going with this? What is your next move as far as the car rental business?
So although we're in the car rental business, I look at it really as being in customer service, right? That's my thing. That's the reason why we've been able to get to where we're at, because we provide, a great customer experience. So what we're gonna do next is scale, double, maybe even triple the fleet within the next 3 to 6 months. That's the goal. And then we're gonna start to actually create customer experiences. I have a passion for that, showing people luxury. Just showing people a good time. So we'll get luxury vehicles, and then what we'll start to do is we'll rent them and do like tours of the city, or like a private, like a date night, and you have a chauffeur. We'll hire a chauffeur, and they can.
That. I hate driving.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Some people don't want to drive. And sometimes
it's a whole market for that.
Exactly.
Me and my husband argue all the time about who's driving. I'm telling you, it's a whole market. You got a customer right here.
Right. Exactly.
Definitely gonna hit you up.
Exactly. And it also goes into, as we were saying earlier, like our larger, kind of passion of elevating Black culture and Black businesses as well. So when we're talking about these experiences, we're all about connections. When I think about Keith and I, we like, okay, so how can we bring this person over here and do this thing and, maximize the people that we have in our circles. So when we're creating connections and, really highlighting businesses as well, we want to say, okay, well, we want to add you to our list of, restaurants that we can have for our, luxury experiences, for our date nights, for this, for that. You have an event space that you were telling us about, right?
Yes.
That can be something, hey, you need a couple cars that, you can have outside, or people can rent, or what have you. So we're just really trying to see how we can integrate everything into overall experiences. So we're not just a one-trick pony, right? Really creating opportunities for people to, think about how they want to live their lives and how they want to really experience the things that they're looking to experience.
That's really cool. I love what you guys are doing. I'm so inspired by what you guys are doing, because it's just out of the box innovative thinking.
Yes.
And if we all had that way, that's what this show is really about, trying to get people to think outside of the box. What do you have in your reach, in your possession each and every day that you don't utilize for profit, that you don't utilize for just bettering yourself, that you could use.
Right.
So, I commend you guys for what you're doing.
Thank you.
I thank you guys for having me, for sitting down and telling me about the business. Yes. So now I would love to go see the fleet of cars that you have, if we can, just so we could take a look at them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Great. Let's go.
All right, cool.
Great.
All right, so Keith, you explained the business to me. I think it's amazing what you're doing and what you've created, especially during the pandemic. I'd love to see the cars that you have.